Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Code X podcast. I am your returning host, Sonny Kruger. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Jamie Wojcik.
How is it going, guys? We are back, and we got the Mr. Cakes. I can't believe it. He's finally returned. The evil Mr. Cakes today, I would assume.
I have returned for this evil episode. I am back. Jamie, I'll ask if you give me a moment so I can do a little bit of talking.
Go for it. Take it away, buddy.
So this is episode 15. After episode 13, a couple days later, I had found out that my father had passed away. So I took a little bit of time off in the very beginning. I was like, I'm going to jump on it. I said, I just need to get back to normal. I can't let it take me down. So I was editing like a little bit 2 hours after I found out of his passing. I was editing series about a series. I was like, okay, I need to read Forever Evil. And Jamie, thank you, man. I will always thank you. You're always very cool with me about it. And I was like, I could still do the episode. And you're like, hey, well, me and Tim can do it. You need to be with your family. And first I was like, oh, I'll do it. Let's just plan for me to do it. And then a couple days later, I did realize that I needed some time off. So thank you. And thank Tim. Thank you, both of you guys, for carrying on with the show. And, it really means a lot to me that you guys did that. And I thought it was a great episode. So I enjoyed watching it. And I am glad to be back for this evil episode. And now I got to go over some of the stuff, because even as you were going over it, I did watch the episode, and you guys did a very good job carrying on. And at points you're like, Sonny's going to get me for this, Sonny's going to get me for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you guys did a lot of good things. One thing, the top 5 worst comics ever. And I had to make a fun of the vault to thank you guys, and I had to show Tim that I had that final crisis he mentioned in there.
Yeah.
And Jamie, Circle of Blood. I don't even want to talk about that anymore.
Number 2, buddy.
Yeah, number 2.
It didn't crack number 1.
Number 2.
Because that's what it is to me, is just number 2.
Yeah, I don't. Thank you. See, there you go. You've been evil enough already today.
Yeah, you got to bring that evil back, bud.
Yeah, now I got to bring that evil back, and I will when I pick Blackest Night at the top of my list. No, I did not pick Blackest Night at the top of my list.
You did that. This show would be canceled in a heartbeat.
But yeah, it was a good. It was interesting to talk about, and I'm glad you guys did it, because it'd be way too hard for me to pick top 5 worst. So
yeah, it was hard for me.
Yeah, as you see by my ratings, I don't rate comics too low.
Yeah, nothing below us. I don't think we ever got anything below like a 8.
Well, we'll see. We still have many episodes to go. I am back. Every now and then, things do happen. Life happens. That's happened. Things. So, but every now and then, like I said, we carry on, and we plan on doing this show for a very, very long time. And every now and then, something will happen, but we will continue on. And also, we got to talk about last week how we were saying how there's going to be a Penguin show on HBO. That I was like, I've got to talk to you guys about that. Yeah, so he said it's going to be the Colin Farrell one. He's going to take over, right?
Yes, the movie hasn't even come out yet, and they're already giving Colin Farrell's Penguin a spin-off on HBO Max.
Yeah, and I must say, Tim, I was impressed that he had mentioned Colin Farrell's performance in True Detective, because I know that season wasn't very popular, but I enjoyed it. I'm a big True Detective fan, and I got to say, just real quick about the Penguin show, is that I think it's going to be, because if you've seen how Colin Farrell looks in, this one's just called The Batman, right?
Yeah, it's just The Batman.
The Batman. He looks completely different. I think this, if anything, it's going to the show will maybe make him look like regular Colin Farrell, and it will be a pre-story of how he ends up being Penguin.
Okay.
And we don't get to see him be Danny DeVito. Like, as soon as you guys said, oh, it's gonna be a Penguin show. I was just like imagining a whole show with Danny DeVito as Penguin.
That's all that went through my mind. But like, I did bring up when I was sitting there thinking about it, I did bring up one good idea about it. I would love to see with Colin Farrell's character like a Godfather-esque Penguin. You know what I mean? Like he's running the underworld, he's running
Like
the casino, all that kind of stuff.
kind of like a Jared Leto as Joker kind of thing, like that.
And thank you guys for showing up again today.
As soon as you were saying Godfather-esque, I was thinking of Jared Leto's Joker, but I'm like, well, I know this can't be with Jamie. I'm sure you don't want that because I know you hated that.
Yeah,
but that's actually what first came to mind when you said that.
Yeah, no, an actual good performance, from a different character, with the ability to actually act and portray him. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. And then just two more things I wanted to get on real quick about last week. That Wolverine trailer, I must say about the video game, you guys got me so excited for. I was like, man, that sounds really good. Dude, you guys made it sound so good, and make sure to watch it. And it was so fast. I guess I was expecting it to be a long trailer, and I was like,
there's a lot of Easter eggs in that. If you didn't notice, like behind the bar when they show that backside of Logan, and you see the bar, like there's a name or a license plate that says Hulk 181, which is the first appearance, which I thought would be awesome to have him versus the Hulk in it.
It would be.
Like, just have a straight up fight. Like, if you've seen or played, because I know you got a PS4, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the Spider-Man game. It's made by the same people who made Spider-Man, Insomniac. So that game is just, like, it got the highest of reviews. And they're doing it with Wolverine 2, and also coming out, which we didn't talk about last week, is Spider-Man 2. And then now you also have Miles Morales in the game, and they showed the first clip of Venom being a part of the game as well. So he's one.
Oh, cool.
I feel like it's like bringing that nostalgia back, buddy. Like, come on, like.
Yeah. So it is like open world though.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. See that.
Completely open world. So side quests, main quests, all that. I might actually just pick up a PlayStation 5 because of this. Like,
just for that, yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, I love my Xbox. I'm an Xbox boy till I die. But now with all this content coming out, game-wise, like I talked about with Tim, we're kind of spoiled now with comic book stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's movies, TVs, games, you name it. I do want this game, and I want to put it on Twitch as soon as it comes out. So, yeah, be looking forward to that. Try to keep that in hindsight. So,
yeah. So yeah, that's good. And just the last thing I want to go over before I can officially move on to this week and this episode was I want to mention the topic of the week last week was about speculation issues. And all I have to say about that is I don't have any speculation issues. Maybe one day in the future, but none for now. So that's my quick opinion on last week's topic of the week.
Well, I was going to say, you don't have anything that like you tried to find on eBay that was going for like so much money because of the fact of it was a supposed first appearance of somebody, or you backed away from buying something because it was so expensive because of that reason.
No, nothing so far. I mean, if I just happened to see something that was like a good deal or something, then I would pick it up just because. But so far, nothing that I'm like really searching for. Like you guys mentioned, Darkhawk.
Oh yeah, all hell Darkhawk. Yeah.
So if I saw Darkhawk, I'd have to pick it up. Retire, buy myself a yacht or something, football team.
Yeah, something nice. You're buying the Dallas Mavericks in no time, buddy.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Move over, Mark Cuban.
Yeah. Move over. New billionaires taking over.
All right.
Selling my Darkhawk 1. Okay, so now we've taken care of everything. We can move on, and we carry on to episode 15, our evil episode, and now we can get on to what's going on today. As we talked about in the pre-show, we got we got some comic book news, some evil news. We got
some hot news.
Yeah, some hot news as usual, all the time. Our topic of the week: who is the most evil character in all of comics? Since it's our evil episode, we'll be reviewing Forever Evil. Like I said, it's an evil episode, and we're going over our works. And just because I know Jamie loves it so much, Jamie, I know you miss it when I spring things on. I know you love it when I spring things on you. The last minute,
Always.
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 So, Jamie, it is our evil episode. I'm going to have to spring something, a new segment on you in this episode.
Why? Why?
Because it's evil, because, gotta be evil, man.
This isn't in the show notes I have up right now, Sonny. You can't be doing stuff like this.
Oh, it's in mine, man. I make sure not to put it in our notes. I had to get you with something a bit evil and make you just come up with something off the top of your head.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask, am I included in this, or is this just you talking about yourself in another plug of a book?
I don't know. It isn't. But hey, you might even be
Ooh.
able to plug one of my books, though.
No.
Maybe. Okay. Now we get on to our evil / hot / comic news. Kid Flash, the show on HBO. Tell us about it, Jamie.
So, out of everything HBO's been spinning out, they just announced that they're gonna be going forward with the Kid Flash show. Now, there's not much info at the time about it, but what I want to talk about is now we're starting to get this almost like what CW had. They had the Arrowverse, where they brought all the shows and they crossed them over, and they had their whole own universe to do what they needed to do. HBO Max is looking like they're doing the same thing, and it's exciting because Kid Flash, you could put him on the Titans. They got the show Titans on HBO Max. You got stuff like Batgirl going to be coming out, Penguin from the Batman coming out. I've seen like 3 other ones that we talked about, like a Nightwing, a Red Hood, their own spin-offs, which would be awesome to have as a whole. You could do a whole Bat Family thing now, where you can eliminate the Bruce Wayne Batman aspect and just run with a whole Bat Family series. We don't even need them. I think this is great. I think, as we were saying before, we're kind of spoiled in that aspect of now, at this time, we get so much content. We have so much more of an outlet to see all these things happen. I would love an HBO Max verse of all these characters, because now you can take it to a different level rather than being on regular program TV. You have more leeway of violence and pure evil.
Yeah, they can be more evil, so it's good.
Yes, they can definitely get more evil. I think it's cool because it's not going to be I don't even know his name. Grant Gustin or whatever from the Flash TV show. We already had a Kid Flash from CW, but this could be taken to a totally different parameter and basically just explode that character into something more than we could ever think, because having a Wally West can open so many doors.
Yeah. And with you being like, I like the Flash, but I know you're more familiar with him than I am. Is there any like super villains that haven't been in any of the series yet that you're like, I really hope they finally put this character in a show and do him or her or it justice?
I hope they do. They already had him, but I want a better version, and I hope they do it. I would love Gorilla Grodd to come back.
Okay.
Because I don't think they did a real good job of him in the Flash series itself. I would trying to think. I would love to see more of the Speed Force itself, like more in depth, like because at one point, newsflash, Wally West gets trapped in it, and that's his whole arc, that he was gone for so long because he was lost in it and then got pulled back out. No one remembered who he was, and once he got pulled back out, people started remembering. I would love to see that, like what he did in that time in the Speed Force, because there's been so many different issues where there's so many moving parts that happen within there. You can utilize those, like going to a different universe, seeing a dark multiverse, seeing a repeated memory happen that was bad for you your whole life, and how you got through it and how you changed it to get out, those types of things. They don't have really that outlet. It's more of a romance with just Iris and Flash in the show now. It's it just turned into like a romantic superhero show to me, and I just stopped.
Oh,
So
I love my romance.
yes, you do. 50 Shades of SK.
It's why I love Smallville, man.
Yeah. Lana and Clark, or what'd you call him? Klana?
Klana.
Klonopin? Yeah. So yeah. I
Well,
mean I don't know what your thoughts are on it. So what do you got, son?
I was gonna ask real quick. Do you know when it would come out? Or
I would
they're
think
trying to
it'd be
schedule?
I would think with their production schedule, it'd probably be like a year and a half. If nothing shuts down.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, so one thing to always keep in mind. But yeah, it should be cool, like I said, and like I said, if they could open so many possibilities, so I'm interested to find out about it. And it'd be really cool if it was filming in Chicago, so I could work at least in one episode and run around in the background or something.
Be one of the guys that Gorilla God throws across the
Yes.
Yeah.
It just grabs me right by my head and just flings me across. I'm like, that's me, guys. That's me, he threw.
That's your notoriety right there. I'm the guy that Gorilla God threw.
Yeah, that would definitely be a part of our works.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about our works today. Guess who threw me through a building?
A giant CGI ape.
Yes. And he's evil.
Very evil.
But something I don't know if someone would consider evil or genius or crazy or whatever. But the first appearance of Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy number 15, a couple weeks ago, sold for a record of $3.6 million at an auction. That's insane, man. Like, I know it went a couple weeks ago, but I was like, oh man, we gotta talk about this. That's just crazy when you think about it. Like, you make this character for this comic, it's issue 15, and all these decades later, it sells for 3.6 million. I mean, yeah, too, when you think about it, like all the years later, he's had so many movies, like we said, video games, obviously a comic book series, and just, everybody pretty much knows who Spider-Man is, especially everybody, in North America and, in Europe and everything like that. But
around the world.
well, yeah, mostly around the world. Pretty much, unless you are, like, let's say, in a country that doesn't have a lot, like more of the poor third world countries. But even a lot of them, I'm sure, know who Spider-Man is. And yeah, just to think 3.6 million, man, that would be. I can't imagine one day making a character. I know mine are more regular books, just to make a character and say one of my characters, their first appearance, so for 3.6 million, or years and years from now, it'd be like 360 million, because back when Spider-Man first came out, that was, I believe, September 19. It was 1962, so you're in the 60s, and to imagine years later, $3.6 million.
Yeah, I mean, I know for the highest comic at one point was the first appearance of Superman, and it went for $1.23 million at auction. I think that was the highest one at the time. Yeah. That blew it out the water, obviously. Do we know what grade that was, or if it even was a grade?
I don't think they mentioned what grade it was.
Okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, I know for a lot of people, like, grade makes a big difference. And something like that, if it was like a pristine issue, then yeah, I could see, or even a mid for this. Even if it was a mid grade, like a 5 out of 10, like it'd sell for that. I could see you going for more if it was like a 9 point something.
Yeah. It says certified, guaranteed company rating of 9.6.
It was a 9.6.
Yeah,
and it went for 3.6.
Yeah.
Okay, that number doesn't seem right to me then. I thought it would go for so much more.
You think even more? Well,
I would think even more, because looking back all those years, back then, people would just buy comics, roll them up, put them in their back pocket, and carry on with their day, read them as they go. They'd be messed up. To have a 9.6 just chilling somewhere is insane.
Yeah. Because, that's even, too, like I said, it's hard just to imagine keeping it for that long,
and in that good of condition. That's like you.
So getting it and just not touching it, yeah.
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, man. Real quick, looking up, because how you were mentioning, I was pretty curious. Like I said, when I was finding out that it was 9.6, it said before, a pizza delivery boy and photojournalist also priced out. Okay, a pizza delivery boy and photojournalist also priced out Bruce Wayne, whose Batman #1 sold for $2.22 million at a Heritage auction last January. And then something else said that Spidey's sale topped Superman's debut in 1938 Action Comics #1, which went for $3.25 million earlier this year in 2021.
Ooh, okay, so a lot changed since that first one.
Yeah, but like I said, but that wasn't too long ago. Like I said, all this stuff is pretty much happening now. This
Yeah,
time of the world needs money, and now they're breaking records.
yeah, they're like, oh, no one has money. Let's sell everything.
Yeah, and somebody out there is just like, hey, I got a few million to spare. I'll buy that super rare graded 9.6 Spider-Man first appearance.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We shall see. Definitely, if the record gets broken, we'll make sure to we'll bring it up on the show.
Right. We'll keep an eye out for that. Now that I know there is more than what I thought there was.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sure we'll find out soon. I think sooner or later. I don't think it's going to be like years before this is broken. I think people just like to spend money.
Right.
All right. But now, speaking of Spider-Man, Jamie, tell us about the Spider-Man Venom possible crossover.
Okay, guys. So this is purely rumor, I want to say, but when it comes from the actors' mouths, it's kind of hard to not believe. We had Andy Serkis, who is directing Venom to Let There Be Carnage, come out and basically say that more or less that they can set up for a Venom Spider-Man crossover. Tom Hardy has come out and basically said the same exact thing. Right now, they're asking everyone not to leak the ending because there have been fan reaction first like pre-screenings, and people are raving about the post scene because I believe there's 2, and they're asking everyone not to say anything. So I don't know if they're teasing us as far as you're gonna see Tom Holland just swing through at the end, or Venom sees him, like a photo of him or something, and he's like, he's next. So it's kind of hard to go on with just their word of mouth, but if they're bringing it up, I don't see why it would be an issue. I mean, for people who love comics, read them, they know the origin of Venom. They know the origin between both Spider-Man and Venom. I think they could do something with it right now to create it to where it becomes something like you could bring that old and new into the factor. Like maybe like in my mind, crazy as it is, bring in the aspect of Venom's tired of working with Eddie, tears off Eddie, and goes to Tom Holland. And then you still get that church, what do you call it? You get that church scene where Tom Hardy's in there playing Eddie Brock, and he's like, I just want Spider-Man gone because he stole my symbiote.
Yeah.
And as he's ripping it off, it comes back on Eddie Brock, and he's got the Spider-Man logo on him. Something like that. So I'm not trying to go too in depth of my speculation ideas on this, but I think you could definitely do something with it, and I think they can make it just for the characters.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and wishful thinking from me, but it'd be so awesome, especially since there's Carnage and Venom. Carnage is in Venom, the new Venom movie. It would be so cool if somewhere like they like let it up, like we got Venom and Carnage ready together. We got the Spider-Man movies. We got Morbius is going to come out. There's going to be a Blade show. I would love it if somehow they had them all meet up and to do like a huge like a Maximum Carnage movie.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Like an Infinity War or Endgame, something like that. But it was like for Spider-Man and then Maximum Carnage.
Yeah, that'd be actually awesome. I'd pay good money to see it because even Venom got good ratings and made so much in the box office, even though Spider-Man had no tie to him.
Yeah.
It kind of blows my mind to sit there and say like Venom's just as popular now.
Yeah.
And having Carnage in it is just I feel like it's gonna double that. I don't know how it's gonna work right now with everything that's going on in the world. I mean, I've said that plenty of times to where we're living in a crazy era right now where we don't know what tomorrow brings. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for it. I know I'm gonna go see it. Hopefully next. What's the day? Yeah, hopefully next week I'll go
Yeah.
see the new, because now I definitely want to go to the theater and see it.
And next Friday,
Now that,
right?
yeah, now that they're building up that hype for the end credit scene, I so want to go and see what it's about.
Yeah, before all the spoilers, you know.
Yeah, and then I'll come and spoil it on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, the evil episode will be over by then, but
that's fine. I'll make it re-evil.
forever evil. See, got to plug. See, I not only plug my books, but I could plug the books we'll be reviewing too.
Yeah, look at that.
There you go. And now time to plug a future book that's coming out. We have to talk about Wastelanders. The Old Man Logan spinoff is getting more spinoff series. We will get the spinoff of Wolverine, obviously Old Man Logan, Hawkeye, who is still blind. If anybody doesn't know that, yeah, Hawkeye is blind in the Old Man Logan series.
Yes.
We'll get Black Widow, get Doctor Doom. I thought it was pretty interesting. He will have his own series with it, and Star-Lord. So I saw the images. I think they look pretty cool. Obviously, I haven't heard so much about it, and I have the Old Man Logan trade of when it was first came out. Like I know now the series he's continued, and he's been Old Man Logan in many different comic books. So yes, I'm behind. And the one cover with Wolverine is the most one that grabbed my attention
Mm-hmm.
because I was looking at the baby. I'm guessing it's one of the little inbred Hulk babies.
The Hulklings.
Little Hulklings, yeah.
Yeah. As someone who has read all of Old Man Logan from the first series, like I think you got the trade of, I read the entire 50 issue second series of Old Man Logan, which incorporated all these characters that they're bringing as the Wastelanders into the book itself, and then they had their own little mini spin-off for the time being. And then Dead Man Logan, where he supposedly died and didn't, because go figure, it's Logan and Wolverine, so you never keep that kind of man down.
Will never die.
Never dies. Just like everyone else in comics. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good one. I did love the aspect on Old Man Hawkeye where they had like the Venom gang kind of deal. I don't know if you read it, but they had like all like a family of just symbiotes chasing after him. It was great. It was
that
insane.
sounds cool.
The Hulklings, especially the baby, was cool. It's just like a gamma baby boss kind of thing going on. He just throws people. It's great. And then the one I'm surprised on most is they had Old Man Frank Castle. And I thought that would have been one spinoff that they would have done, and I was completely wrong. And it's Doctor Doom now instead. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how Doctor Doom goes. So
yeah,
I'm definitely excited for Wastelanders. I'm definitely excited because I think we're going to be talking about that one too. Hopefully when it comes out, we'll see how it goes. So, but yeah, Old Man Logan is still kicking and still a thing. You know, I really do enjoy the stories that are told through that aspect. That having kids, having a life, everything taken away from him again, and he's gonna go back and just sneak and just start stabbing people.
That's right. Goodness, so we want to see.
Yes.
I see him slicing people in half and this and that, and I'm really excited. I'm really curious as to what Doctor Doom is going to be because, like I said, he'll be the lead in his own spinoff.
Yeah.
That one has me curious.
Yeah,
too.
that one's definitely one that I'm, like you said, curious about because of the fact that what do you do when everyone's gone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no. Are we going after him? Like, is it the last X-Men last person he wants to take out? You know, we don't know, and that curiosity is gonna bother me until we get it.
Yeah, and two with Doctor Doom. If I'm not too sure if the Fantastic Four are still around in the Old Man Logan series, but if Reed Richards is gone, Doctor Doom might even start to be like, "Hey, I'm the genius. I'm the doctor. Maybe I can start figuring things out to help people." Because, like I said, obviously the whole world seems like it's pretty much in turmoil and not doing good. Maybe he'll turn around and try to do something to actually help people.
Right. Exactly. And I think it's going to be, like I said, it's a crapshoot at this point. We don't know what we're going to get. At least if you knew, like, the premise of the character, like, of them being plugged in the book, you'd know more. But with this, you really don't. So, we'll see what happens. I have high hopes. Yeah. I like all the series so far when it came to Old Man. And hopefully it just continues to grow and become better as it goes.
Yeah, it comes out in December, right?
Yes, this end of the year.
All right, so there we go. Wastelanders, the spin-off series, coming out in December. And now, another thing that we don't know when it's coming out is the David Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad, and they released 2 pictures recently. Jamie, you want to tell us about that? Since I know you're excited, it's got Jared Leto as Joker.
You know, I'm really tired of Jared Leto. Tired of seeing his face everywhere. He's not that great. As we already talked about in our tribute to Jared Leto, you can see in episode 10. Yeah, they released 2 photos. The first one was the Joker having the gun underneath his chin, sitting in the room, which I believe is the scene where he was laying around all the knives.
It looked like it, yeah, because he had like all the ha-ha-has on the walls.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to remember the other one now that it's escaping me.
Someone looked like during one of the, like, a robbery scene, and they have like that weird almost goat head.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on in that photo, but now I'm intrigued because of the fact that it's just demonic. We don't know what's going on. I feel like this David Ayer Suicide Squad is going to be what Zack Snyder, too many Snyders. Zack Snyder had in release the Snyder Cut. Now we're going to get the Ayer Cut because they keep pushing it. You know, the fans want to see what the original thought process was. They want to know how dark it was, or even if it was better. Like, now, don't get me wrong, I don't know if I'm going to be the last 4 hours through another movie. If they break it up in parts, maybe.
Don't do that. Don't do 4 hours.
Well, like for me, when I watched the Justice League Snyder Cut, I broke it up in 4s because you can pause and go in. So that's what I did. I watched it almost like a TV show. In this case, I don't think you should do 4 hours if you have a runtime of maybe 3, maybe. But, I mean, people keep pushing. If you want to see it, see it. Like, ask for it. Keep going. Do what they did with release Snyder Cut. Don't stop until we get it. If it's honestly better than what we originally received, I'm 100% for it. Just don't bring in too much Jared Leto, and I'm going to be happy. So, Sonny, thoughts?
So there's that. You know, like I said, the original Suicide Squad, I remember when I first saw the trailer, and it seemed very dark, and I was really excited. And then you go later on, as it got closer to coming out, it seemed more silly and more campy. And then, you know, we got the movie and everything, where I would hope that this version is different, not just a longer version, but I would hope that this would be like the darker version that a lot of us originally thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, no longer than 3 hours. 3 hours is, to me, I think that's pushing it, but hopefully not longer.
We're going to beat it. It's going to be 5 hours and 37 minutes.
Yeah. Like I said, like it'd be like a whole season of watching a show then.
It's just Margot Robbie standing there as Harley Quinn for an hour and a half. Yeah. It's just a still photo, just plastered on the screen, and people are just like, I love it. I want more.
That's what they know. As they say, sex sells.
Yes, it does. I mean, this doesn't. I'm pointing at my own face here for the audio listeners, because I always never forget about you guys as well. So don't forget to check us out on Spotify. You know, every week when this is posted, same day as YouTube or Apple Podcasts and all your other podcast platforms.
Yeah, and you can even have fun. You could make us sound faster if you think we take too long to talk. You can make us sound slower if you want to make us sound drunk. Jamie, I do that every episode with you for at least for a little bit. I put you on half the speed so that you sound very drunk.
Dude, you could just ask me to do that and I do it for the show. It doesn't matter. I didn't know we could drink on here. I'd be like, yeah, and that Wolverine guy. And just go nuts.
Then we'd be here for 5 hours, man.
That's fine. You see the conversations we have outside the show that when we're doing production stuff. Like, is seriously sit down, note taking. Between me and Sonny, we probably text more than anything else. But when it comes to everybody else who's a part of the show now, which it's just growing and it's insane. There's like nights we've had like 5-hour discussions into like 3-4 in the morning, like stuff like that. Like people can't sleep, you awake? Yeah, let's talk. Like, oh. So it never stops. So yes, if you want me drunk on an episode, I can definitely manage that.
What would be the fun of the Hulu? You would sound super slow then on the Hulu one if I do the half the voice then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. That is not an exaggeration of how it would sound.
Yeah, right. All right.
But man, there we go. There's the comic news. But real quick, even though it's not so much news, but I didn't put it into our notes. But I thought, you know what, maybe we could talk about it. I forgot to mention it on our pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
But this past Saturday, the 18th, September 18th, was Batman Day. What did you do? Did you do anything to celebrate?
Yeah, I watched. What did I do? What, this past Saturday? Yeah, it was this past Saturday.
Yep.
I did watch a couple of the animated series just to watch them because I missed a couple of the episodes. I watched my favorite one, which was that Christmas episode with the Joker. I think it's the very first one where he's like on the tree doing the jingle bells Batman smells.
Oh.
And then the tree like rockets off into space out of Arkham.
Oh yeah. Remember as a kid? Yeah, that was so popular. Everybody, yeah, Jingle Bells, Batman Smells. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that. I did read the new Urban Legends that came out too. So a little bit of Batman for my day.
Yeah. So me and Maria, we started watching the Dark Knight trilogy again. So we started with Batman Begins, and then hopefully this weekend we can continue on with the Dark Knight. And then I was reading Forever Evil, and I said, "This is the day I'm finishing Forever Evil on Batman Day. That is my way to celebrate."
Yeah,
so that was me celebrating
Batman. Good way
Day.
to celebrate Batman Day.
Yeah. So, are you ready, Jamie, for things to get evil?
Very.
Before we get to do, it's time to spring something on you that you are not expecting.
As usual.
Okay. It's Sonny Appreciation Hour.
Oh, yeah, great.
No,
that's
no,
every
no.
episode. What are you talking about?
This is something called On the Hunt. You can think about it right now as I'm telling you. And I think we should bring up issues that we are on the hunt for, that we are searching for. Obviously, if we found something like Amazing Fantasy 15, obviously we'd buy it.
Right.
Action Comics #1. So, I mean, if you feel like talking about it, but me, I'm not really, like, those are comics everyone's pretty much after.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who is into comics. So I wanted to mention my first on the hunt. There's What If. What Ifs are coming out every week. We've been talking about them. We've been reviewing them. And I found out that Quasar, actually that's how it's pronounced, but I pronounce it Quasar. Quasar issue 30, he travels through the What If worlds.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'll read it. And I look on the app, the Marvel Unlimited app, it's not on there.
A lot of What If is not on the Marvel Unlimited app. And that threw me off.
Yeah. They got a lot. There's so much to read on the Marvel Unlimited app, on the DC Infinite app. But yeah, there was one that wasn't on there. So now I've been searching for that comic. And it's been expensive. So I'm on the hunt. That is my first on the hunt, is Quasar number 30, because, well, he's traveling through the What If world, and I love my What Ifs.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the first on the hunt for me, is Quasar number 30.
Yeah.
Anything that sticks out to you that's on your hunt list?
I'm collecting all the New 52, the whole series. Like, I'm about halfway done. So most of those I'm just trying to run out. Right now I'm working on, I think we did a mail call when we did the uncensored episode, and I brought up Batgirl. So I'm still working on that series, and that's basically what I'm on the hunt for, is to finish that series as we go. So that's my on the hunt for right now. Once I complete it, I'll probably post a picture of it.
Cool, yeah. Yeah, do that. Like you said, on Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz.
Yes, sir.
So, there you go. Not so bad. Not. I know this is the evil episode, but it wasn't so evil. We didn't get too too evil with our on the hunts. Just searching for things.
Yes.
But now, Jamie, see, I sprung something on you last minute. Now you can be evil to me because it is time for Do You Know? But first, I'd like to show you, Jamie, that I'm wearing a shirt of Anderson the Spider Silva.
From last week. Or from the week
Because that's
prior.
2 weeks ago, yep, when I got you with my questions, that was the one you did get right.
Mm-hmm. The two-parter.
So, yeah, the two-parter, you got right. So I said, let me wear it because I didn't get to wear it that time. And then I get to happily mention that Anderson Silva knocked Tito Ortiz out.
That was the
We
highlight
mentioned
of my day.
that was awesome, man.
He was
So,
bleeding from the brain again.
yeah, I'm sure he went into the fight with a cracked skull,
Yeah.
you know. Oh, went into this fight with the cracked skull. But, well, he got knocked out. And Anderson Silva, maybe we gave him good luck.
We did. It was all because of the Codex podcast.
Probably. So, hopefully Ethan Hawke, Jared Leto, many others, they pretty much owe us and should definitely follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, obviously
I'm blocking
twitch.tv
Jared Leto.
podcast, everything. Okay. I'll allow it.
Okay. So we're gonna
Jared Leto blocked.
Yeah. # blocked. So you want to jump into Do You Know then? Are you ready for 3 comic book related questions from me now?
Yes, I am.
That don't have to deal with any of your books.
Ooh.
Yeah, from chapter 1 from 1995 when you could first pick up a pen. So first question. Who is the first supervillain in Superman?
It is... I guess... Lex Luthor.
No. I'll give you one more.
Brainiac.
No. It was Ultra Humanite. Was the very first villain that Superman had fought.
Ultra Humanite.
Yeah. See?
What's he look like?
A very evil character from the 1940s.
Yeah, okay, so let's not go back to 2012. Let's go back to 1940, 41.
Well, it even goes with this one. Like, as comic book fans, we should know these, and if we're running a podcast, we should know these things kind of too. I suck at being quizzed, so I might know it and then be like, totally different name. But this one was, it's simple, but I think you'll get it, hopefully. Who was the very first superhero ever? There's been movies, horrible movies about him.
So it's not Marvel or DC.
I think he became
right?
a DC character after.
Was it the Phantom?
Yep. See,
There you go.
told you. See, I don't give you hints because then you get it right. You don't even give.
Well, because I wasn't sure. Like I said, I know like you were giving Tim the one about Marvel.
Yeah.
I was almost gonna be like, oh.
Yeah, Human Torch.
Okay, so there we go. The Phantom.
So you got one. Okay, this one I thought was fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. What DC character did Stan Lee say was his favorite DC character?
This is a fun one. There's many characters to mention, but let me see. Who is his favorite? I'm just gonna say the main man, Lobo.
God, dude. Yes, it is.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
I knew it. So you got 2 to my 1 right now.
Wow. Yeah. I was just throwing it out there. Wow.
And the reason I put that on
Man,
there is I
Lobo.
felt that was the one you were gonna get with the Lobo one. I didn't think you were gonna get Phantom. So I was like, okay, he'll be tied 1-1 with me, I think.
All right, man. Well, that's. Yeah, I did not expect to get that, especially when we were going back to the 40s. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But
Well, now that it's official, I officially right now want to put in my resignation of the Codex podcast and leave this completely to Sonny. He can host the show by himself. He doesn't need me anymore.
I need you to set up the streaming thing. I don't know how to do that stuff. So that stuff I give to you,
Yeah. So yeah, that was so starting next week we'll be doing this, but asking each other 3 questions as part of the show. So
good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, like I said, how 2 weeks ago I gave you 3. Last week you and Tim went back and forth, and then now you gave me this one. But next week will be, like I said, it will go to what we will usually be doing.
Yes.
3 for me, 3 for you. All right, man. That was fun. I'm glad we do this now. Do you know Ultra Humanite was the one I got wrong?
Yes.
Right. Ultra Humanite. I'll never forget that name now.
Never gonna happen.
Okay, so now we move on to our works. And Jamie, like I said, things happening in the passing of my father. Obviously, I was thrown out of my normal routine and things like that. But in life, we carry on, and I eventually had to get back to work.
Right.
So this past week, it was after the Codex podcast. I was able to get back to work, and I worked as an extra on that show called the 4400. It's the reboot. I think the original was like in 2004, 2005, but they're rebooting it, and I got to work as an extra and work a nice 12-hour day. And one thing that was fun about working on there is a lot of times you get to sit around, spend time. Sometimes you talk to people, right? It's cool. I meet a lot of nice people.
Right.
And I also got to do a lot of my reading of Forever Evil while I was there. So
nice.
Yeah.
Getting paid to read.
That's one great thing.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so getting paid to have fun, and they had even Dunkin' Donuts there. I didn't have as many sweets as many people would think I would have, because I got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, Mr. Cakes himself over here.
There we go. Yeah, but yeah, so I got to work in the 4400, and then to you, I was mentioning in our notes Wolfman. And I know you're probably just like, what is Sonny talking about?
I thought you were talking about like Marv Wolfman, and I was like, why are we bringing up a writer like in your works? Did you hang out with him?
Yeah, there's only one writer I like to mention in our works.
Yeah,
and that's me.
Jamie Wojcik. Oh, Sonny Kruger. Yep.
Oh, you too. Yeah. See, now we're gonna have to get on you about that. Say, hey, man, I still haven't got to read your stuff yet.
It'll happen. It's just going slower than I expected because I have so much more I have to do with our show.
No problems. Yeah, things come up. Like I said, I know you've been working. We got so much coming out, so
yeah,
I won't give you too much slack for that.
For once.
Yeah, for once. Maybe I should though, since it's our evil episode.
Yeah,
so
I did say last week you're gonna give me more crap more than ever, and you kind of have. So let's just keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, I think I've kind of been a bit nice this one. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I think you're being the same kind of person you always been, except for the opening monologue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now back to me talking about me.
Okay, everybody, let's sit down, relax, have a little fun. Sonny is going to talk about himself for another 35 minutes.
So, Jamie, I think before one of the pre-shows, I asked you, I said, hey, do you know about Paper Girls?
Yeah.
And so we know, like, I didn't realize it was based on a comic book, but it's a series that's being filmed in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, well, there's a lot of shows being filmed here. But once I found out it was a comic book, then I'm like, okay, now I want to work on it. And so I got an availability check, and I'm in the running. I haven't gotten it. It's not set, but I might be able to play this stand-in for the character called Wolfman.
Ooh. And okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah. And then when I looked up the character, I see the character was wearing a Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction shirt that I literally have.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to suit you well. I hope you well on that one. Now, don't tell me that the next bit of news is that you're going to be a stand-in for Lex Luthor, because I will lose my mind.
Oh. Well, I'm shaving my head, and I'm going to play Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That'd be maybe one day in the future. It's still going to take me a while to shave off what I have left of my hair.
Yeah, in case people want to know, Sonny used to have this long flowing hair about a couple years ago, and then he got into a relationship, and then it started going away.
Now, if anything that helps me keep my hair.
Oh, does it? I lose it every time I talk to a girl. Can look at me and I just see hair follicles just fall out, and I'm like, oh, she's looking at me, stressing, just poop, poop, poop.
Yeah, so that's why you always wear a hat on the show.
Yeah, because most of the time I don't do it anyway. So.
Well, the reason I brought Lex Luthor now is because we're releasing our content. Mm-hmm. We get our things going. So far, like I said, today's day 14, right?
Yes, today would be day 14, and then I'll talk more about what we're going to be putting out in a minute after you're done.
Yeah. So like I said, I've been trying to let me try to put more towards. I gave you guys a mail call from the vault which I dedicated to you and Tim for doing a good job last week.
Right.
So with Lex Luthor, a while ago, remember, I think it was like episode 2, because when we went over Luthor, the book,
Right.
and I was like, oh, I did a monologue and I put it on this actor's page.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, you know what? I talked about it on the show. I should just release it. So you can check it out and everybody can check it out, and feel free to tell, I won't just be getting people from the acting community giving like constructive criticism, but also making sure that they're not so mean that they don't get kicked off.
Right.
If I just put it out there, I can just get everybody's opinion.
We will be throwing that in the description below so you guys can find it on our YouTube channel and all of our social medias, hopefully by the end of this episode stream today.
Yeah, because I haven't even showed you. Haven't even seen it, so I'm like,
no, you just told me which part it was.
There.
That was all you did. You're like, it was this part, and I'm like, that makes sense.
So now you'll get to see it. You'll get to see me attempting to act as Lex Luthor doing a monologue.
Well, segue into something that I want to talk about real fast, and since you're talking about being Lex Luthor, we got the perfect opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. I know you saw Tim Morris last week, who is the voice behind our Decoding Panels. Decoding Panels Origin is going to be coming out. And we got a little something fun for you guys. So we are going to be taking, just to see how it goes, a single issue for the time being. We think we know which one we're going to be using. And we are going to have a full casting of each character from that issue. So we have an ensemble cast to play each person in Decoding Panels. Now, moving forward, I don't know. Depending on the reception of this, we'll move forward where they do it every now and then, because I know everyone's got different time constraints, different, things going on in life. We can't get everybody on at the same time, but we will be scheduling something for it. So be looking out for that. Also, yesterday, I did go live for our Twitch with Marvel's Avengers, the game. Finally, Codex Gaming is up and running. We will be playing very shortly. I think I might even jump on tonight just to see what's going on. If you guys want to jump on with us, drop your gamer tag below. I don't care what level you are. I'm a low level. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to build my way back up, build up Hulk, because Hulk smash. Let's play. Let's have some fun. Let's grow a community. Let's get a little bit better. Sonny alluded to earlier, we had like 2 weeks of content. Today is number 14. Tomorrow will be number 15 with the very first Codex Gaming stream. And then we will have Sonny's Sonny's
monologue, yeah.
From the vault.
Keep my photos.
Yeah, those I have special, buddy. Tim sent me those ones.
From the vault, the secret vault.
Yeah, the secret vault. We got From the Vault from Sonny, and also his very first mail call that we will be posting on too as well. So, guys, there's content every day. I'm trying to keep it that way where we really start having a consistency of how much we're putting out every single day. Even if it's one video or even if it's just a post. I want you guys to be able to see what we're doing. So, yeah, there's a lot coming. There's still more.
Yeah, so what level are you on the video games?
I think I got Hulk up to level 14, but his power is at 34. Max out is 150 for each character.
So 150 and you're level 14?
No, power level is 150. I don't know what their level actually maxes out is, but it's 150, but it's at 34 right now because you got to keep getting all the upgrades for your character, and they're hard to find. Oh. You can level up and build up your skill set. Big difference. So.
All right, man. Yeah, I look forward to watching. And like I said, if you do bad, I'm gonna make sure I'll be on there under my Son of the Writer, and I will comment and definitely let you know you're doing a bad job.
Yeah, definitely jump on, everybody. Last week, if you guys did not see the stream, we had a fun chat going on in the discussions. It was a great time. So definitely jump in. Let us know what you think. Tell me if you want to play. Tell me if I suck. Tell me if I'm doing better. Let me know what's going on. Sonny, keep your comments to your dirty mouth self. So yeah, that's my our works this week.
Yeah, so there we go. And me too. I'm done with that. Yeah, so as usual, working on my stuff. And like I said, we got a lot coming from the Codex podcast, Decoding Panels. Codex Gaming and all that stuff. And I'm really looking forward to, like you said, working on the comic book issue with you. Like we said, that all of us will be playing a part, and it has me. So I suggest everybody watches it. It'll be really good.
It'd be like the Jared Leto episode. No one's gonna show up.
Oh, it's gonna be good, man. Just if we when we get this thing made, we make a full comic. Avoid doing voices. It's gonna be awesome.
It will be. Yes, it will.
Okay. Yes, that without a doubt. I know it is. That's something I'm very confident about. And also, I'm interested in doing. I'm interested more about how we're gonna do the origin episodes about characters.
Yeah, we'll give you guys
Yeah.
more of a breakdown as soon as we start structuring it. We have a first character in mind. We already have an outline, and we will be giving more info as we go.
All right. Yep. So now we move on. We talked about our works, and now we get onto our topic of the week, which is who is the most evil character in all of comics and why. Jamie, as usual, you have our top 3
That I do.
comments.
And surprise,
They better be evil.
pretty much. So for the most part, we got a lot of the same answer for one specific character, and I was surprised at this character, Darkseid. This one goes to Jeremy Cole. He said, Darkseid, he does it for evil's sake and to grow the strength of his evil empire. The second one we got was from Michael Barham, and he didn't give a reason why, but I can already tell him ahead why he picked this character. That's why I kind of took it. The Red Skull. For everything he did back in his time when he was fighting Cap. And then my personal favorite was Dan Kelly again jumping on and saving the day. Homelander from The Boys. He has the public image of being Superman-like savior, but really will do any disturbed, twisted thing he feels like for his own amusement and to secure and keep his position. He would not hesitate to manipulate, torture, rape, murder, etc. to get what he wants. And those are there's our top 3 for this week's topic of the week.
Very good. Very good. Very evil characters. All right. So now we'll have me answer first. Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why I was thinking it was going to be you.
Yeah, it's you. You read the show notes. You know what's going on.
Yeah. Yep. Me. So for my picks, I kept leaning towards Darkseid or Thanos, but then I was trying to even do research. I was really thinking about this man, like who is the most evil. I was also thinking about in Spawn the Violator, but I don't know too much about the Violator to pick him as my pick.
Right.
But I was thinking Darkseid and Thanos, and I'm like, you know what? Obviously, they've both done such horrible things and have killed I don't know how many people, how many deaths they're responsible for, but both of them have love for somebody. Thanos has love for death.
Mm-hmm.
Darkseid has love for. He defends Apocalypse. As bad as he is, he still will defend Apocalypse. His planet.
Right.
He even tried to defend it against Galactus, and even before tried to defend it against Doomsday. But for me, my pick of the most evil character in all of comics is Mephisto.
Okay.
Marvel, because I picked Mephisto because he is like the devil. He isn't, even if you look him up, he is not Satan. He is not the devil, but he is pretty much Marvel's version of him. And he owns his own version of hell. I have not seen him ever try to be good or anything like that. I don't know if there's been a new comic that suddenly made him try to be good, but he's, he takes his souls. He is like the devil. I've never seen him be good. He is only out for himself. At times he's kind of been by Thanos' side, like during Infinity Gauntlet, but it was only because he knew how powerful Thanos was with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right.
And in the end, he wanted to just help himself out. And yeah, and two, we've even, and Tim's, we will go back to Tim's favorite, One More Day, Mephisto.
Yeah.
Had the soul of Aunt May. And then there's also a comic where Mephisto, as bad as, Doctor Doom is, one of the greatest villains, I think, but Mephisto had the soul of Doctor Doom's mother, and Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom had to team up together to try to free the soul. Doctor Doom's mom. So for me, I have never seen any good side of Mephisto. He is, he is like the devil, and he is from hell. So my pick for the most evil character in all of comics is Marvel's Mephisto.
Okay. That's not. I do agree.
Okay, Jamie, how about
So
you?
when I did this, I wanted to go purely on evil. I didn't want to go based on power. I didn't want to go based on the juggernauts of the industry, like you brought up, Darkseid, Mephisto, Thanos. I went with someone who's just crazy evil to the core, and I think I figured out who I like the most on that, and that is Victor Zsasz. This guy will murder people, and then he has a cut on his own body for every person that he's taken out. Uh, he doesn't stop. There's no comic I've ever seen where they tried to rehab him into being a good guy, like so many other characters that Batman has tried in the past. Um, Based on just pure evil itself, having a body count in your own body, I think could possibly be the most evil thing you could ever do. um, I know that version on Marvel side would be from Black Panther's Killmonger, where he had the little marks too from what he did prior, but I think Victor Zsasz definitely is the most evil character I've seen.
Okay, yeah, not your typical answer, but yeah, good. So I love having these topics because I like ones like this. Like I said, they bring up a lot of different answers. Like we said, so we got it's in the comments. We got Darkseid. Who are the two? Am I forgetting?
Homelander, we had
Okay, Darkseid, Homelander,
Red Skull.
and Red Skull. And then for you, we have Victor
Mm-hmm.
Zsasz, and I pick Mephisto. So yeah, got some good picks, good evil picks, and we look forward to doing topic of the week next week. Well, in a few days, again, we'll post another topic of the week.
Yes, we will.
Who knows what it'll be? But now we move on to our review. So this week is Forever Evil. Jamie, a few weeks ago, I believe it was like 3 weeks ago, you picked out Forever Evil for me. So I will do this review. Forever Evil by Jeff Johns, David Finch, and Richard Friend. So with everything going on, I eventually was able to start reading Forever Evil about like last Friday, and I got to even read more of it. A lot of it. I got to do a lot of the reading while I was working on the 4400. So regardless, in my opinion, it's a book that I'm always gonna remember like through what I was going on. It's funny because it's a book Forever Evil, and it was helping me through a tough time. But Forever Evil, the start of it. Okay, warning: some spoilers. I won't give it all away, but some spoilers for Forever
Do
Evil.
it, Sonny.
Okay, so in the beginning we see Lex Luthor. Spoiler: Lex Luthor's in the book. But yeah, one thing. Yeah, this is the series where the villains take the lead. All right. It starts off. We see Lex Luthor. He's making a deal, and he's blackmailing a guy into selling his company. So we're saying, okay, Lex Luthor's bad, and then all this is going on. This book basically, the Justice League are defeated, and it is the Crime Syndicate. Those of you who don't know the Crime Syndicate, Ultraman, Owlman, Superwoman, Johnny Quick, all of them, they have invaded Earth, and they are taking over. The Justice League have been taken out, and now it is up. And they are also, the Crime Syndicate is getting most supervillains on their side to take over, and it is up to some other supervillains, like I said, like Lex Luthor, to take them down. So Lex Luthor eventually throughout the book, he starts gathering other villains. He makes Bizarro. He was going to clone a Superman that was going to come out, that was going to be ready in 10 years. It was 5 years had passed, so he said, hey, I'm just going to have to release him now. So he has Bizarro on his team. We eventually get Captain Cold, who eventually turns and doesn't follow the ways of the Crime Syndicate. And then he gets a bit beat up. And then obviously we start to see more supervillains joining. We see Sinestro join later on. We see Black Adam get his jaw broken by Ultraman. So they're teaming up, slowly forming a team together. And then we do see that Batman and Catwoman have survived. Cyborg has barely survived. And then So they're obviously trying to figure out their own ways. And then we get Lex Luthor and Batman meeting up, and everyone says, we have to work together to take on the crime syndicate. And then we get some great fights. We get them teaming up. One thing that I really liked was with Lex Luthor and Bizarro, their relationship together. I think was one of the highlights of the book for me. I thought it was great. It was, times funny. Bizarro, he doesn't know anything. He's not talking, but then Lex Luthor, who's mean and starts off, very cold-hearted, he starts opening up. He starts trying to care for Bizarro. And even one of the highlights I liked was when Bizarro was scared of the dark, and Lex Luthor tells him a story of how they have to try things and you can't be afraid to fail, because when he was younger, his sister was sick, and he didn't want to try to save her because he was so afraid of failing, and she died. And so he said, I'll never do that again. Later on in the book, you find out that that was actually a lie, but it was a very nice part and a nice story told. So I guess you could say a nice lie from Lex Luthor to motivate Bizarro. And one thing I should mention is that Dick Grayson, uh, Nightwing is caught and he's being tortured, and they let everybody know that Dick Grayson is Nightwing. Even Batman says, "Oh, he's ruined now." But we do see a nice romance between Batman and Catwoman, and she's saying, when are you ever going to open up to me? The whole world is, there's barely anybody left. The world's going crazy, and you still can't even open up to me. And Batman still, sticks to his guns and does not give much about himself. But yeah, we see the villains team up to take on the crime syndicate. So villains against villains from other worlds. And we get to see some good old action in each issue. We get to see an arm get sliced off. I'm a Game of Thrones fan, and we get to see some fingers in the eyes. That's in the last one. We get to see, a leg taken off. You get to see all kinds of action, all kinds of superheroes, all kinds of supervillains. It's an all-star cast of DC. And like I said, I'm not going to give away the ending, but to me, it had me hooked from the very beginning to the very ending. It was such a terrific read. Jamie, I know why you're a Jeff Johns fan, especially after reading that. I've read some of his other works, but after reading that, like, okay. And to me, because it is part of the New 52, I would say it was my favorite story arc I've ever read of the New 52.
Ooh, okay.
So Forever Evil, for me, gets an evil rating of 2 plus 8. So 10 out of 10.
Ooh, we're back to the 10. See, Sonny comes back with the scores.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Forever Evil gets a nice score of 10 out of 10 because I loved it. And thank you for getting me to finally read it, man.
It's definitely a good read. With everything you said, I don't feel like I need to go into too much detail at all about it. It was a great story. The scene where Nightwing's getting interrogated, like basically tortured, interrogated, and they reveal who he is, was a big twist because no other real character went through that. Besides some spoilers later on that we obviously aren't talking about. But yeah, for me, so what I want to tell you, and I talked about this in the pre-show, you can check it out at twitch.tv/Codex Podcast if you want to know more, is that with this whole series, like, I'll tell you right now, I give it a 9, just as the 7 issues alone. With the tie-ins included and everything told as a main story, it is the best story I've ever read with tie-ins. And that's going with Blackest Night. Like, that's up there. But this is one of the best stories. If you include all the tie-ins, everything. There's a scene in Forever Evil where I think it was Captain Cold was talking to Lex Luthor, and then Captain Cold walks away. It's outside. There's like cars burning all around him. I think you know which one I'm talking about, Sonny. That from that panel leads into the start of a series tie-in. It literally is that panel, and then starts the next story for the tie-ins. Each one had the same thing. Like, you would think it ended there, and then you jump in the tie-in, and it would start from that point from the main series or main story into that. So it told everything that was happening between those. It was, oh, dude, you need to read the whole thing. Get the reading order list. Read.
What is it? 70 more issues, right?
No, you can, but if you just do like the core, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it that book is from start to finish with tie-ins or not. I definitely give it like a 9-1 as the main series for the whole with the tie-in. Yeah, I can't. I'd give it a 27 at this point. Like there wouldn't even be a scale. But yeah, I think Sonny. I'm glad you liked it, brother. That was one of my favorites going in. That was actually the first one I was gonna give you in the very first episode.
Wow.
But then I was like, yeah, White Knight might be a better first one, and you also gave that one a 10 out of 10. So I'm just knocking you for a loop with 10 out of 10s.
I give you credit, man. You've been having some awesome picks for me, man.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep coming too. So
good. So, oh yeah, another thing real quick. I'm glad that it got to show me some other characters like Captain Cold. I like he got a big part in there, so it made me more of a fan of him. Yeah, so to some of the others, I know and I'm fans of. Like I said, he was one of the characters that I wasn't too familiar with. I've seen him. I know, okay, he's a villain, but this got me to be more of a fan of him.
Right.
And yeah, and like I said, the Bizarro. Obviously, he's not from Bizarro World here, but I still really liked, him and Lex Luthor, their relationship.
Right.
So, and it was beginning, like I said, beginning to end, because even to, like I said, I don't want to give away spoilers, but even when everything is like, you think, okay, this is it, this is the end, it's solved, and then like two huge things.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wow, I truly did not see them coming, and was very glad to have such a big ending for such a big story. Like you said, like it was 7 parts, but they said there's so many other tie-in issues.
Yeah.
So, yes, I give it a 10 out of 10. But for you, I know you were saying like a 9.1 regular, but you still just happen to know the other stories.
If those stories were not
still-
included, it'd probably still be at 10. But because of reading all the tie-ins and how everything flowed so perfectly together, I had to knock that down. Like it's a good solid. It's a amazing. Let me rephrase that. It's an amazing solid book on its stand by itself. It is, but with those tie-ins, it just took it to a whole nother level for me.
Yeah. Okay. So your overall rating is
9.1 for the main.
9.1. Thought you were a fan of DC. I guess not.
I am. I'm just trying to make you more of a fan than Marvel.
But you're definitely leading me, helping me a lot. One thing too, why I'm glad that we got to talk about this. I was like, oh, before obviously I picked Marvel over DC, and I like the older stuff, and you like the newer stuff, more DC. But with reading a lot of these DC comics that are newer, I could see why, especially in this day and age, that you would lean more towards DC, because I'm seeing, for me, it seems like in this century, the 21st century, the big DC stories do seem to be better. When I look at what I like and some of my favorite comics, I'm looking at a lot of DC's newer stuff, and when it comes to Marvel, I like a lot more of their older stuff.
Yeah, they definitely broke the ground, like trailblazing in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and then after that, DC took off with their stories. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, literally.
Yeah, even to the time, like I need to look into more DC older stuff, because like I'm always looking at the old Marvel stuff. I'm like, I need to start looking into more older DC things.
Right.
And then too, yeah. So there's that, and then like I said, I'm enjoying all this stuff. But one thing, a couple weeks ago when we talked about topic of the week, could DC survive without Superman and Batman? Is where I did think in this story, a story that
it showed
led by the villains, you still needed I felt they still put Batman in there to have a huge part, and I love Batman, but I felt even if Batman wasn't such a big part, I still would have loved the story, even if it just was, Lex Luthor, Black Manta, Captain Cold, Bizarro, and that.
Right.
So that was the one thing where I'm like, oh, see, they still always, I think DC sometimes feels like they need Superman and Batman more than they actually do, because they have so many great characters.
Yeah, they just keep building. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's great, and that's why I love that we do this show. You recommend some great comics that I love. So there we go. DC's Forever Evil. I give it 10 out of 10. Jamie gives it 9.1. And now it's my time to give Jamie one.
ooh,
I was waiting, for I was gonna wait for Halloween or somewhere around October, but then I looked. I'm like, so I give you one. I'm sure next week we'll probably do like a single issue, and the week after that is already October. So it's time to already start celebrating
the
Halloween.
spooky season.
Yes, and this is our evil episode. And well, who was my pick for the most evil character? None other than Mephisto. So Jamie, I give you Mephisto versus.
Ooh, okay.
So this one, it isn't too long. It isn't too talked about. I'm interested to see what you think. It is Mephisto versus, and in there he versus. It's a 4-issue series.
Mm-hmm.
He versus the Fantastic Four, X Factor, the X-Men, and the Avengers.
Okay. Definitely excited for that one then.
So there you go. That is my pick for you. Mephisto versus. And yes, it's evil and it's hellish.
And it's evil. Did we mention it's evil?
Yeah, and he's also evil, in case you didn't know.
Me or
Or
Mephisto?
didn't get the Mephisto for
Okay.
sure. You know what? I was gonna say no, but I mean there is, that Punisher Circle of Blood.
That was the most evil comic ever written because they just tortured fans around the world with that.
Well, maybe my evil pick Mephisto could torture you even more.
And be like,
maybe I
get like a 2 out of it.
Well, we shall see 2 weeks from now, man. We'll see what you give Mephisto versus.
All right, sounds good. Can't wait.
All right, yeah. So like I said, I believe that's a show. We talked about all the things we got coming your way from the Codex podcast, Decoding Panels, Codex Gaming, everything. And I am back. Glad to be back. Glad to do an evil episode. I don't think next week will be as evil, but
It'll still be as
next
good.
week it'll still be as good, and we will both be back here next week. Thank you all again. Take care.
Yeah. And guys, as always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that way you don't miss any of the content we are putting out for you. Once again, it's the Codex Podcast. You got our host, Sonny Kruger, and me, Jamie Wojcik, and I just want to say thank you guys once again for being a part of this. Love each and every one of you. Be kind to one another, and you guys have a great day.
Later.
Bye.